Good evening. There is news for some local SNAP recipients. The South Dakota Department of Social Services says at least some November benefits will be issued later this week.
The benefits were supposed to be distributed to tens of thousands of South Dakotans today. The payment was delayed after a Supreme Court ruling last week. Now, whether people get the full or partial amount depends on what happens in Congress as lawmakers try to end the government shutdown.
The American people have suffered for long enough. Let's not pointlessly drag this bill out. Let's get it done, get it over to the House so that we can get this government open.
And members of the House have been called back to Washington so they can take up the latest funding bill once it passes the Senate.
In the meantime, people across the country are left waiting. I spoke with a local man who's been coping with the uncertainty of the longest shutdown in U.S. history. 73-year-old Mark Nelson and his dog Abe live in Sioux Falls. Nelson is one of tens of millions of Americans who receive SNAP benefits. Watching the government shutdown play out has been frustrating.
And I see people at the grocery store going through the same thing. And I feel their frustration and I understand where they're coming from. And I just try to keep myself going by motivating that it will get better. We've just got to give it time.
Nelson receives $70 a month in SNAP benefits. While that money doesn't last long, it helps him keep food in his kitchen.
Hamburger helper's $10. By the time you get the hamburger in the mix, it's very difficult.
Nelson says health issues prevent him from working today, but he used to have a career in radio. He has this message for other people who may be confused and uncertain about food assistance.
You're not alone. We know what's happening, and we have to trust that it's going to get better. And that's all you can do. Otherwise, you're giving up, and I'm not going to do that.
In September, more than 37,000 households in South Dakota received benefits. That's about 10% of the state's households. On average, they received about $394.